Welcome to Manila, the capital city of the Philippines and home to the inaugural RCGP event. I'm Scotty Ernst, presiding here over rounds 1 and 2. It's truly a historic moment in our sport, so let's take a look at the weekend ahead.
Good morning from the Circular Verde racetrack here in Manila in the Philippines. It's Saturday, which means it's round 1 of the inaugural RCGP World Series. We're on a long journey, aren't we, Nick?
We are. We're going to take in 8 rounds, 4 countries, 3 continents. We'll crown 1 man as the world champion and 1 team as the constructor champion of RCGP, and we've got no idea what's going to happen.
What we do know is this is 1/8 nitro off-road buggy racing, and we have the best in the world here. Behind us, this is the paddock. And customarily, the JQ Racing team have not arrived yet. It's a big morning, they're not here, but other than them, everyone is behind us, frantically preparing for possibly the biggest day of the season, because everybody wants to get a good start, right?
You've got to get off on the rolling, because obviously you get that momentum you can carry through all the countries, all the events, and of course, the competitors start to fear you.
They do. Let's go and get a bit of the vibes from the pit.
Well, it's getting closer. Yes, it's less than 15 minutes until the inaugural RCGP World Series Round 1 finals are underway. And just look at that track. Hard packed, a little sun-baked, if you will. Might surprise you to know that last night Manila looked like this. So how does the track maintain its form? This is early this morning, and what does it look like up close? Let's find out with Nick.
Let's look at the fantastic Circuit Verde track for the first round of the RCGP World Series, and the first thing you notice is it's up and down. It undulates everywhere. Spectacular racing guaranteed. The most 3D track we've seen in 1/8 scale for many, many a year, but incredibly tricky. There's nowhere for the drivers to rest. They go from one double to another double to a triple to a berm to a step down section, and they get a few little seconds and they whiz down the straight before turning the corner for the next lap. These drivers are doing up to 120 laps in a row at this event, and they have to have total concentration to win, because it is an incredibly tricky track that's actually coated in molasses. Yes, sugar. This black stuff is sticking the track down. It's sticky sugar. But of course, you know, that means it's constantly changing grip. What will happen? We don't know, but follow us here for the most fantastic event ever at the Circuit Verde track in the Philippines.
Thanks, Nick. Well, now we're all acquainted with the track, let's find out what the fastest 3 guys had to say about it after practice.
David, what for you has been the most difficult section of the track getting used to here through the practice rounds?
I think the double after the stairs is really difficult for me, but I think the other part of the track is not too difficult.
David Ronfolk?
Yeah, I think it's when, for me, I have no problems coming onto the straight, but for me it's when I lose the car for just like half a second, or not even maybe coming towards you on the double. That's kind of tricky, because you never know how the car is going to, where it's going to come out.
I think now the track is getting really good. We changed something on the car, and I think it works good, and it's not easy because we are all close one-to-ones, and also the other drivers are so fast, so we will see tomorrow.
My car's working very good, you know, tires are creating a lot of traction, so I have a lot of grip out there.
Need to be consistent on the track and find the right line and just drive well.
You know, it's very hard to pass out there. We've seen that in the practice round so far. you know, is basically one line over the jumps and everything, but you need to push those guys to a mistake, and you try not to make a mistake yourself.
Now, before we get stuck into racing, here's how things are going to unfold. This weekend, RCGP has 2 rounds. Round 1 today and round 2 tomorrow, that's Sunday. We have 13 drivers in the RCGP class about to get into qualifying, which takes place over 4 14-lap races. Each race awards points for finishing position. 0 points for the win, 2 points for second, 3 points for third, and so on. So the aim is to get the lowest points possible after 4 rounds and take pole position in the finals. Also, after each qualifying race, the finishing order is inverted. So the previous race winner starts on the back row and has to battle their way through the pack again to get a good position. That's the theory. Now let's see it in action with the qualifying roundup from earlier today.
Over yellow cars, your leader, yellow, orange, green, Ronafat, second, multiple coloured, orange being white wheels of Ongaro, third. It is the battle between Cole Ogden and Juan Carlos Canas. Ongaro, the 2 of them are divided by Leo, and he doesn't know, he got inside! Ongaro takes it on the side. Ronafat rolls, he only drops to second. But Ongaro, as Ronafat just rolled off at the roller section, loses it on what should be the last lap.
The fight was really close. David has a mistake on the last lap and they pass him, but really great fight.
So there's your taster. The 2 Davids battled. Ongaro came out on top, and now they both start Q2 from the back, while Patrick Hoffer and Aaron Stringer will do anything to hold their positions at the front of the race and not let the faster cars through.
Of Hoffer, Stringer also orange unfortunately behind him, he's got white wheels. And they're off, and it's again a slow start. And a great start by Hara, but he had to back out of it. So the first 2 together, it's Stringer in the blue-sided car in second with white wheels, but leading with the yellow wheels, it's Hoffer. But they're not pulling away. Oh, and Stringer's out. So Stringer's dropped away already, and up for Hara into second with Max Moore. Ronafat's already made himself up to about 8th. Oh, and we lost 2 cars there. So now Hara takes the lead. Your 2008 world champion in the lead. He's slowly to hot. It's now. Hara fell out. Oh, now Vidmar's got McGrath in second. Hara's actually, they're not really gaining as much as they could do. Oh, and Ongaro's made a mistake. Really gained on Stringer. Stringer leading out well. He's made a good use of this lead. Hoffer, for example, is down in 12th already. Oh, no, McBride, half led, a mistake by Ronafat. At least 7.5 feet wide as they come down the steps and over the dangerous doubles. They'll come on the main straight, just so you know, and you can see on your timing screen there's a 2.1 second lead for McBride. And of course, with the referee with Mao looking, oh, nearly had it there, look for the inside line, it wasn't there. And McBride, though, making hay now with a 3.14. Oh, he's gone. Wow, that was a save and a half. Looped it around, landed it, kept going. But McBride is running it beautifully, staying in the middle of the track, not being phased by having the man who won the world championship in his home country a few months ago. It's only 2 corners to go. He's gone wide. He gets it. And McBride gets it. Well, Kyle, what a fantastic race.
Yeah, I know. We were just talking about dip. I had a bearing go on my car right before the race, so we were freaking panicking, but I got out there. Started in 7th. I got a pretty clean start, thankfully, so that was really good.
Not seen you right out the front yet.
Well, that's because I've been on the receiving end of some rather aggressive maneuvers out there twice. So I'm hoping to have a clean race now, and we'll see what I can do.
JQ from Beach RC, Infinity third, which is Martin. Then the 33 of Patrick Hoffer. 6 to go. The young Finn, just 18, leads them away. And they're off. And you can see all 4 wheels spin as Max put it down. They've gone off pretty much in order, 1, 2, and 3. Ongaro sitting there kind of quite menacingly in 4th. Ronafat down in 7th. So Canas leads. Snagged that very tight, right there, the inside goes Robert. So Robert takes the lead. Oh, at the same time he came back, Ogden's upside down. And this is where we'll get to see what we all think is when it comes to racing, there's very few better than Robert Battle. We're covering both the cars, so we'll see him over the line for Battle. Will it change in the air? And Robert's going to win it. He does. And oh, Cole almost lost it, but he got it in the end.
So tactics at play in Q3 as Ronefalk avoids finishing mid-pack and intentionally finishes last to get himself on pole for the final qualifying race.
I saw Cole also pass Davide towards the end, and then I was like, so if I start from first in the last one and they are going from the back, I might have a shot still, so that's what.
And I think if you win it, you've got a very good chance of getting on pole.
Yeah, that's. I need to beat Davide's time. If I do, he has to be second overall to still be on top after qualifying, but I think I'm going to have a good chance from pole.
And it's a relatively clean start for qualifying race 4 in RCGP. And Ronefalk makes the break and already pulled a little distance on. And Cole Ogden's had an accident at the back and he's been left at the back. So Cole Ogden not had a good start. Well, look at Ronefalk go. So Martin now moves into third in the red and blue car. So it's 2 Infinity drivers in second and third. Ongaro had a front tyre problem and he's now using it for a bit of test. So Ongaro, front tyre problems. This means it's open season for Ronefalk to pick up pole. He needs to do a 28-second lap to do it. So I think he's going to be just not fast enough to beat Ongaro, and Ongaro I think is going to pick up pole. It's going to be very, 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 very close though by picoseconds. So he's got 1 corner to go. He's going to blast it. He wins. Here we go. And it's a 7:14.4. No, he's missed it by 9/10 of a second. Well, the plan almost worked, but you missed it by 8/10 of a second.
Yeah, I knew it was close. I had a couple of kind of wobbly laps on the start, but I tried to keep it together towards the end. I ran really strong, I think, in the last 3.5 minutes or so. You know, it was really good that time. Just a couple of mistakes in the beginning.
You are our first pole man for RCGP. You managed it by 8/10 of a second.
Yeah, he had a problem on the double at the beginning of the race, so I broke the front screw of the shocks. Can happen.
So qualifying in the books, and we're less than 5 minutes away from the first ever RCGP World Series final. But if you're watching this and wanting to take a closer look at the racing buggies on track, let's check in with the fastest chassis in the Constructor Championship.
We're with David Ronefalk from the HP Performer team. It's been going really well on the track so far here in Circular Verde in Manila. Tell us a bit about your car, David.
Yeah, it's a HP Racing D819, new platform for this year, 2019 season, and you know, it's been working really good for us. We had a couple of developments on it since last year.
Okay, can you take the lid off? Nothing secret in there. Go back to basics. I mean, these are still incredibly complex machines because it's 4-wheel drive. There's 3 differentials. I mean, you know, I've got a 4-wheel drive car at home that hasn't got 3 different. Why do you need 3 differentials? Why do you need 4-wheel drive?
Well, I think especially nitro, if you had the 8-scale buggy nitro in a 2 drive, I think it would be a lot harder to drive. I guess it's just a tradition of this class is having a 4-wheel drive car with 3 differentials. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. You can do basically whatever you want to the setup of the car. Change the diff oils, chock oils. You have plenty of different things, camber, tow, everything like that.
And of course, this is the heart of the engine, the Performer motor. So you know, I'm a petrol head. This isn't petrol, is it?
No, it's called methanol, I guess. So it has a lot of, 25% nitromethane inside, and so I guess it's a slight different kind of fuel compared to what you have in a regular car. But yeah, that's what these engines go on, and this itself is like a 3.5 cubic centimeters engine. I think it generates around 3 horsepower, something like this.
So 1 horsepower per cc. So if it's a 1-litre engine, you get 1,000 horsepower.
Yeah, I mean, if you take the scale on this car, the weight of the car to the horsepower we have in the engine, it's pretty much 1-to-1 if it was in a real car. So yeah, somewhere around 1,500 horsepower. So we're up in the Koenigsegg range to talk about that kind of stuff.
So obviously, how fast does it go? And when it's going that fast, how do you stop it?
Yeah, I mean, we have brakes. So the brake disc sits on the center diff. We can change the bias about front and rear brakes. You know, on real cars, you have them outside on the wheels, right? But yeah, this is sitting on the center diff. We have brake pads, so you can adjust whatever you want. So basically, I'm running 50-50, so same front and rear brake. but it's definitely a good setup tuning option you have on the car. But yeah, on this track I would say the straight isn't that long, so I would say maybe we get up into like 70, 75 kilometers an hour. I don't know what that is in miles, but it's pretty fast. You know, some of the tracks around the world have a lot longer straightaways, and then maybe we reach something like 85 or even 90 sometimes, I believe. So depends on the rear gearing. You can change the clutch pedal gearing, the spur gear, change the ratio, the final drive ratio of the car, and all that plays into the top speed, I guess. So, but yeah, around here I would say 70 kilometers an hour.
70 kilometers, that's around 45 miles per hour. That's what you can expect to see on track in the finals today. So, let's meet the drivers on the final grid. Position 1.
Driving car number 94, Davide Angar for Team Scampi Rosso.
Position 2.
In car number 7, driving for HB Racing, David Ronafalk.
Position 3.
Driving the Beach RC, car number 36, Robert Battier.
Position 4.
In the Infinity, car number 10, Kyle McBride.
Position 5.
In the HB Racing, number 15, Cole Ogden.
Position 6.
Driving car number 23, Juan Carlos Canas in the S-Works.
Position 7.
The number 100, Joseph Quagrain for JQ Racing.
Position 8.
It's Mika Vidmeyer driving for S-Works in car number 14.
Position 9.
Car number 93, Aaron Stringer driving for Beach RC.
Position 10.
In the Infinity number 12, Lee Martin.
Position 11.
Driving to JQ Racing, car number 18, Max Mort.
Position 12.
Driving car number 33 for Team Scampi Rosso, Patrick Hoffer.
Position 13.
Driving car number 8 for Beach RC at Sushihara.
So here we are, round 1 finals will be 2 30-lap sprint races. Just like qualifying, the higher the position, the lower the points. And the lowest points overall takes the win. Unlike qualifying, the grid remains the same for both races, so the only option is to win. If there's a tie on points, the second final decides the winner. And now for the finals, it's over to you, Nick.
Don't forget Ongaro, Ronafalk, Fatai, McBride, Ogden, Canas, JQ, Vidmeyer, Aaron Stringer, Lee Martin, Max Moore, Patrick Hoffer and Tsuchihara are your 13 runners in the first ever final for RCGP. History being made here today at the Circular Verde circuit in Quezon City on the outskirts of Manila in the Philippines. Currently we have got no one in position 4. Kyle McBride late coming out. His dad leaning down. Now 10 seconds, no one isn't able to start. The car's being poured over the side of the track. Lots of revs for some of them. Ongaro's dad about to drop the 94. Go, start. He starts his stopwatch for the time of the fuel. Long wait, and they're away. And it's a good start. It's a clean start. Battle just don't possibly clip the rear of Ronafalk, but a nice start for Ongaro. Ronafalk second, Battle third. Then it is going off in order with McBride, and then Ogden. I think there's been a bit of a swap around there, and I think Stringer may have made a couple of places up early, and Canas may be one of the losers. So there they go. The first half lap is in. They caught up. And so 30 to go. We've got half a lap gone. So right. Into the lead as they go over the hop and up to the top there. So as we expected, away have gone Ronafalk and Ongaro. And how many times we said that recently? Ronafalk and Ongaro have gone away, and they got Robert Bataille stalking them. This just seems like a kind of a script we've had many times over the last couple of years, but already gapping. And we'll tell you, I think it's McBride from Ogden in 4th and 5th. They're coming through. Got a slight problem, and now they're going. I think McBride may have an issue with actual communications back to the pit. That could be the 10 car. That could be JQ. Anyway, let's look at the leader. It's still David Ongaro as he flies over the big triple before he gets to the berm, and we are just settling down now. This is lap 2. They've completed. The lap lead comes down by 0.2 of half a second. So they are right together. The dangerous doubles on the back on the main straight. Nailed together. They have been really all day. The qualify. Oh, and slightly offline. That lost to a couple of tenths of a second, and it did. And now Ronafalk's right on his tail. Third place Bataille. Having a battle now with Cole Ogden, but we're looking at the first two because they're closer as the drums build up again. And Ronafalk sliding the car around. We've got a fuel stop. We've got tyre wear. We've got... Oh, and there's a bad say. Oh, and now Ronafalk takes the lead. Oh, and it's a kind of a cowardly... Well, safe preservation of the Marshall. And so now Ronafalk moves away, and behind him is going to be in second place. It's Battle, and then third it's Cole Ogden. So let's be on our... Let's drop to our second place man, Robert Battle with the orange car with the yellow wheels. And let's see who's coming to him, because he's got Ongaro now in 4th. He's got to get past Cole Ogden. So let's make our Cole Ogden the focus. He's the yellow and the purple car in the middle, flying the triple now. But he's in the way of Ongaro getting near to Ronafalk. Now, interestingly, Ongaro is not showing a lot of pace at this point. Whether he needs his tyres to come in, I don't know. But he's not showing the pace he wanted. He's not harrying so much. Ogden with the HB. It's the Scuderia Scampirosso for Ongaro, but leading these three, and in second place overall is the BeachRC.com machine of Robert Bataille from Spain. So it's Spain, it's America, it is Italy, but out in the lead it's Sweden, as Ronafalk takes the early lead on the back of a mistake by Ongaro a couple of laps ago. So here they go. The three of them. Oh, at the inside, I think Ogden's going to go. Oh, great job. Ogden, brilliant overtake for second. Ogden just cut the drive and powered through. So Ogden, who's shown great performance. This is now an HB performer. 1-2, but look at Battle. Oh, Battle's having none of it. And it lands badly in the kind of the consuming melee, slamming the brakes on to avoid an accident with Ongaro. And we're back to as we were. But the winner out of all that is Ronafalk, who will see his lead ease out again. In fact, he gained 0.8 of a second and on that lap, because they were all fiddling about with each other. Right, so Battle remains third. Ogden remains 4th. Ongaro remains 5th, but out in the lead by 4.4 seconds is Ronafalk. This is the focus though. These three for second, third and 4th. They sweep round in front of us here, going over the Coco double and the Motor World double. They're going to turn for the massive triple. They fly and then brake hard for the berm, and they complete another lap. Line astern, still Robert Battle, still Cole Ogden, still David Ongaro, and if anything, after losing the second place a while ago, Robert's now coming into his own. But in that lap, we had the fastest lap of the race so far, a 28.890. Oh, they've gone together. Oh, kiss. They come and go at the top of the circuit, and no, but at the end of it, it's the same. These three cars are just slowing each other up, because you can notice that Kyle McBride is catching them up. So this is just great news for Ronafalk. They fight with third. Oh, fly in the air with the greatest. Now Ogden for the second was in third, but he just couldn't get the drive. And Ogden's had a trip and he's moved out. So now Ongaro finally moves ahead of Ogden and gets himself into third place. So it's Ongaro in third, just in the second those two cars. Battle in second, but the gap now out to David is 7 and a bit seconds. And this is mainly because of the battling the others have done. And now Ongaro's made another mistake and dropped back behind Ogden again. So this is going beautifully for David Ronefalk. Not so well for the rest of them. Quite well for us. It's quite entertaining. McBride runs in 5th. Lee Martin in 6th. And Max Morton in 7th. So that's a good performance. And we are now 9 laps down and waiting for something to happen. So let's drop back to Ogden in the yellow and purple car, going over the infinity jump now as he's running in 3rd because he's got Ongaro right behind him. In fact, Ongaro right ahead of him. So Ongaro now has sneaked ahead as he comes towards us now. So it's the orange car with the orange wing. Let's see if Ongaro can move forward quickly, can actually find some pace, can get himself near where he wants to go, can begin to gain on Robert Battle, because at this moment, with an 8.7 second gap between Battle and Ronefalk, you're kind of saying as Ronefalk's car keeps going, then this is going to be game over. Because I can't see Ongaro bridging this gap, but he can get the second, he can get Battle, but don't forget we still have a complete set of pit stops, and we're only 5 minutes and 50 seconds into a 15-minute final. So they'll be stopping in the next 2-3 minutes, pretty much a driver's choice, because it's not a difficult stops for actually 15 minutes. 7.5 minutes is easy for them all to make. They can only make 8.5, even 9 quite easily. So they can stop early, they can stop late, depending where the traffic. Now Ongaro may, oh, he wasn't making those mistakes, and he's going to lose. He's lost it again. It's that mistake. So let's go with the yellow and purple car. The yellow and purple car, which is Cole Ogden. So Ogden is now back in 3rd again. 4th is Ongaro. Just for all you Ronefalk fans, he's away and happy, and he's just, you know, of no interest to us because he's winning so easy at the moment. But that's all because the others are slowing themselves up. And Carl McBride not doing shabby here. So you've got both of them coming down the main road. So you've got Ogden, who's, and Battle made a huge mistake. Battle makes a massive mistake, so now Ogden inherits 2nd. So it's Ogden on camera in 2nd place. It's Ongaro just behind him. He's in 3rd. McBride's picked up 4th, and Battle went from 2nd to 5th with that error at the top of the track. Now they fly over another lap. Cole Ogden will be scored as 2nd for the first time. It's an HB1-2. So the HB1 is way away from the HB2 by 8.8 seconds. And we're talking about fuel stops soon. Top of the circuit. Chance to have a little bit of breath, a little bit of breathe. These two cars follow around. It has proven this track is a hard one to overtake on. You can see that Ongaro is looking to get up the inside, looking to go around the outside, but he's trying to make it a clean pass. Mo is a very, very good referee, and he's also been very hard during this mating. He's not having any monkey business by the drivers. You've got to get through clean, or you get a penalised, you get a stop and go. So 8.5, they actually gained a couple of tenths on Ronefalk. I'm sure now is relaxing within himself. Oh, beautiful move up the inside by Ongaro. He slid past. Then he got touched by Cole, and Cole's got a warning for that, but that was a beautiful overtake by Ongaro. Okay, saw a gap, slid up the inside. That was a touring car overtake. Mark Reinhardt will be chuffed with that one. And now they come round. Ronefalk has fueled underneath us, and it was clean. So Ronefalk has fuel, and let's take Ongaro in, and they're both in. Ongaro, Ogden, stop together. Fuel, drop down. Oh, much shorter. Ongaro gained probably 2nd in the fuel, but no, then Ongaro gets mixed up with Misha Widmeyer. And Cole makes a mistake. So Ogden made a mistake. Ongaro got mixed up with the refueling. And once again, when they go across the line in the second, the big winner is going to be David Ronefalk, because Ronefalk's going to have a bigger lead after the fuel stops, 8.5 seconds, than he had beforehand. Now, interesting, actually, Ongaro had a faster fuel stop than Ronefalk, but he didn't capitalise in his lap out. He's made a second mistake now, hopping off the track. So, there we go. So we're just running now with Ongaro through on the camber. But interestingly, at the end of this, suddenly Robert Battle is back in the fight. So it's now Battle fighting Ongaro. So Ongaro made 2 small errors on his whole lap after the pit stop, one either side of the timing scoring. And he says, even though he hasn't lost a lot of time for Ronefalk, so I think Ronefalk now is literally running to time. He's in traffic, and now we have a battle over 2nd and 3rd again. There's Battle, who must be kicking himself out of that error at this point in the circuit here. Now has a chance to catch up. Let's get wide and get both cars. Oh, look at that, right up the inside. Superb overtake by Robert. Just swept up the inside. Did exactly what Ongaro did to Cole Ogden a couple of laps ago. Marvellous overtake. Found a huge piece of speed up the corner, the left-hand corner over the Infinity Leap. So some great clean overtakes, but you have to take your advantage as much as you can, as the lead now is 7.7. So Ronefalk, who is kind of slowed down, Ronefalk sort of slowed down a little bit, because what he's trying to do is avoid the traffic. He's got traffic, he's going very, very circumspect. There's no blue flags in this race, and they know they have to be lapped, and they will be asked to get out of the way, but there's no blue flags. We're now at 19 out of 30 laps. Ooh. And they come round. And Battle now is pulling away from Ongaro. Ongaro not having this the way we thought he would. As he drops down, the lead as Battle now is ahead of Ongaro. Ronefalk leads. Ronefalk's lead has dropped down. So it's Ongaro. I see what's happened. We got a little bit confused there. Right, Ongaro. We need to get Ongaro, who is just coming under the turn there. There's Ongaro with the orange wing flying up. So Ongaro now turns around. He's got 2 bits of traffic ahead of him, but he is gaining quite quickly on Ronefalk. He's put it down to 4.6. Battle in 13. Ogden in 17. There goes Ongaro. He's got 2 bits of traffic ahead of him. Lee Martin and I think it's Lee Martin who's let him through already. The next person he's going to overtake is Carl McBride. He's got both Infinities, but he is, I'm not really sure if he's gaining that much, because I think it's going to 4.6. Ongaro now on the over the start finish line now. Jumps up the hot race double with his bright orange wing on the steps now. Coming underneath is Ongaro on a tear, and he put in 0.6 that time round. He's got 8 laps to go. He's got a dead car in the middle of the track, which he can get past faster, and Widmeyer, Quad Green is his next time, but the pace of 2, he's got 3 green cars ahead of him. 2 of them aren't cars he wants to be ahead of. They're Widmeyer and Quad Green. The third one's the one he needs, which is Ronefalk. Ronefalk this time round, the lead has got a 3.7, 4/10 off. So Ongaro now catching up fast. He's got up the inside of Quad Green. Now he has to get up the outside or round the round of Misha Widmeyer. But he is gaining fast, but there's only 6 laps to go. 6.5 laps to go. Ongaro already has Widmeyer. Now, again, there's more traffic. It's Max Mort now between the 2 of them as he goes over the Coco double and the Motorwell double. Ongaro now flies the triple. More traffic. I think Canas has dropped back as well. So this is where it comes, because it's difficult. The traffic costs you time. That's gone to 3.2. Despite this, he's gained half a second. Now, I don't know. I can't tell you how absolutely flat out Ronefalk is driving and how much he is actually within himself, because he seems to be, if he's lost this much pace in the last few laps, he's going to be in trouble. Now, at the inside goes Ongaro, takes Atsushi Hara. He's got Max Mort ahead of him. And the Ronefalk makes a mistake, and it's going to be, and this is going to be so close now. Ronefalk has gone and lost a load of time. Ronefalk exits the second double now. Ongaro who with on the now. So it's Ongaro who has got about, he can probably almost see him in his corner of his eye. Ongaro now has to get past Max Mort, which he will do. And Max Mort moves out of the way, so they're now first together. Ongaro has pulled back this 9-second gap. It's down to 2 seconds at most, possibly 1.5. Ongaro flies over the triple. He needs to move round the berm. Comes back now. Flying up the hot race. That comes down to 1.6. Most of that was lost by Ronefalk last lap when he came off the track. Up and over the flat section. At this point, he's going to start seeing him in the wide shots. You'll start seeing the wide shot. There's a flash of the famous yellow, orange and green colours they run about. We're on lap 26 of 30. And they fly again. And I can see that Ongaro literally thrown caution to the wind. 1.2 seconds, gained 4/10. He's coming closer, he's coming closer, he's coming closer. They're going to be breathing down each other's neck. Now this is the point, whereas Ronefalk's got the speed, he's got to put the speed. Oh, and Ongaro loses a couple of tenths, and that could be vital in a couple of laps to go, but he has got this massive ground speed. And the question really is Ongaro driving, is Ronefalk driving inside himself, or is Ongaro just literally riding too fast for everybody? He's just found so much pace since the stop. And that's now down to 1 point. So that was enough of an error. Lost in 4/10 of a second and a lap. That very slight pipe ride earlier on. So runs down the straight. You'll see as he turns and goes over the Masters hop. Just ahead of him will be Ronefalk. So Ronefalk now has traffic. He'll won't want to see much more. We're now on 28 So they've got this lap, and well, it's half a lap and one more. Okay, so it's last lap now, and the gap is down to 1 second. Ongaro's coming, great sportsmanship, so Ongaro's got a few laps to get the jumps to get there. It's coming around, oh, this is absolutely 100% racing Ongaro. He's effectively sliding the car around every corner. He's berming it through. He is driving it like he stole it. And look how close he's got to Ronefeld. But Ronefeld realistically just needs to keep it on the island. Can he do it? They come over, there's a massive flyer. He flies it, Ongaro flies it, turns around, and Ronefeld gets it. In a superb comeback drive, Ongaro, not quite enough. Ongaro, just not enough, but hangs on.
So David Ronefeld gets the 0-point result they all wanted, and his nearest rival, David Ongaro, comes away with 2. Just one more race to run now to decide who is the winner of RCGP World Series Round 1. Let's hear from the top 2 with Nick.
Did you lose that much pace in the second half of the race, or were you driving within yourself?
I mean, I had kind of a couple of rough laps there with traffic. You know, Lee tapped me. I mean, it was not really his fault, but that kind of dropped me like 2-3 seconds right there. So, you know, I saw he was closing in. I had a big gap, so I didn't have to do anything crazy out there. So, of course, I stepped down a little bit just to keep it on the wheels. Luckily, I did. He came fast in there towards the end, but, you know, it doesn't matter how you win, right? You just got to finish first to finish first, right?
But does that bother you for the next race? He's got that pace, or do you think you could still find a bit more in the car?
No, I think I lost a little bit of drive because I had a slight issue to clear some of the jumps out there towards the end. So we're going to look at the clutch, maybe the center diff, refresh the oil. But, you know, it wasn't about that. You know, I just stepped down a little bit too much, I think, and that brought him back in.
Davide, that was a tale of two halves. Before the fuel stop, accidents, crashes, and then after the fuel stop, wow, how fast were you?
I think now the car was really, really good. I made 2 mistakes at the beginning of the race because I was maybe too nervous. And then I fight with Cole and Robert for a few laps, and David was so fast also, but at the end I think I was a little bit faster than him, but we try in the next one for sure.
So can you have your car for the start of the next race like it was at the end of the first race?
The same setup.
Fantastic, thanks, very well done.
And it's time for final 2. Nick, what are the permutations or potential outcomes here?
The basic thing is that if Ronefeld comes second and Ongaro wins, Ongaro has to beat 30 laps in 15:14.3. And the amount of speed he had in the second half of the race, you said it's going to be relatively easy. But he has to win, and that is not always easy. As the cars are beneath me, you can see Aaron Stringer's 93 and the 94. And they move away, and there's the 33 car of Patrick Hoffer, but they move down now for the second of the RCGP races. Final B of the, or final 2, I suppose, of the first round. Don't forget, tomorrow we're doing it all again, 4 qualifying races and an hour main, but it's worth the same number of points. The winner of the round 1 will get the same number as the winner of round 2. Currently, a number of guys have points for winning a qualifying race. The FTQ point went to David Ongaro, and now it's about all the points of the race. His dad says, calm down, calm down. Let's keep it calm. And we are going off on the lead, and off they go. Silence before the storm. And they're away. Tiny creep from Bato, but I don't think it'll be a problem. And a great start from Ongaro. And in fact, a great start from Ronefalk as well. And these two, look how they're going to tell the story of this second 30-lap final as well. Third place. Oh, well, Karma Bride, great start in third, and Cole logged into fourth. So the loser at the start is Robert Bataille, but they're off and away. And it's Ongaro from Ronefalk. Ronefalk, who told us he lost a bit of drive towards the end of the race and suspected a clutch problem, which wasn't helping him get off the jumps. But it's certainly interesting. I would say that already he is being gapped by Ongaro. And the gap at the end of the first lap is 0.376 seconds. And it's more than that now. So Ongaro's gone straight off like an absolute startled hare. And he's putting a gap on and has decided that I'm going to have to win this by getting ahead, staying ahead. He's flying, absolutely flying. First lap over, 28.9, 30.0. So it's only 1.5 tenths, but it just seems like a lot more. I can only assume that as he started to pull away, he'd been caught slightly at the end of the first lap. So first, second, long way. Oh, Ronefalk's made a mistake, and Ronefalk's taking himself out. This is a big one. Right, drop back to second and third. Ronefalk has a huge lead to make up now. Now he has to hope that Ongaro makes it, but second and third, which is Cole Ogden and Carl McBride. Ogden in the yellow and purple, and in the red and white car, it's Carl McBride fighting for second and third. Both had reasonable results in the first round. So it's going to be an interesting battle about who gets what overall score, and I'll be sitting down with my pen trying to work out who it has until Stefan tells me in my ear. So out in the lead by 4 seconds nearly is Ongaro, but we're looking at the second and third. Ogden in the HB, the Infinity of Carl McBride. Another lap completed. The lead has gone out to 4.5 seconds for Ongaro. But these two now, in fact, Cole Ogden is gapping McBride. Still battle in the 4th place. And in fact, that's where the battle is now. We should be on 1 car back, guys, on the battle for 4th now, battle for 3rd between McBride and Robert Battle, who've got Canas catching up as well. So it's a Australian Spanish sandwich. There's a hot dog and paella meal. So, a hot dog from Australia would be a Barbie, wouldn't it? American. Because Cole Ogden's got away in second. Ogden's in second. Ongaro's in third. Ongaro had a small mistake. Ongaro made a small mistake there. And that's going to... But this battle now is right on for 3rd place. Leading car, McBride. Behind him, the wily Spanish Fox in red with yellow wheels, and they come around and go up through the hot race double, and then over the steps, over the difficult doubles. Now it's interesting, that last lap, it was a bad lap, but he's lost 2 seconds to Ongaro. He leads from a mistake on his own, and that's more significant because that is time that he's lost, that he's trying to gain on Ronefalk, catch Ronefalk up. Ronefalk does need to get to second, which he hasn't done yet either. So at the moment, this is kind of a conundrum in that Ronefalk needs to get to second, and I wonder if he gets to third, whether Ogden will let him past as a teammate thing. But at the moment, Battle has just almost landed on top of McBride. Now Battle gets through. So Battle gets through. We now have 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th together. And the 6th place man is Ronefalk, and he's looking to get up the inside. Ogden dropping slightly back. He's in very safe position, Ogden, to head his car. These 4 now flying over the Infinity Leap. One of them being an Infinity, and that being Carl McBride. Behind him is Canas. Behind him is Ronefalk, but leading this quartet is Robert Bataille. Bataille spins it round. And they're going to hop back up again. 4 cars in frame. 4 cars together. They come flying over the difficult doubles right underneath camera 2 down the straight. No one's going for fuel yet. We're only done shy of 4 minutes in. A nasty bump for Ronefalk, but he got away with it back of this train of talent here at the RCGP World Series round 1. And another little minor mistake for Ronefalk. He's dropped to the back of them. Ogden now 2.1 seconds behind. And Ogden's on his roof, so Ogden's now dropping back. Ogden on his roof, still in second, lost a bit of his lead. Ongaro's going to get further away, and this 4 quartet split really, with Battle now having a slight lead and advantage over McBride and then Canas. Canas in the S-Works, the blue and red car with a bit of white. It's the Infinity, the red and white machine of Carl McBride. Ahead of them, it's the Beach RC team machine of Robert Battle. And then behind them, and struggling, really struggling now is Ronefalk. Ronefalk is having a nightmare. And unless he does the best second half of the race ever, it doesn't really matter what time Ongaro does, because he's going to win it anyway. Ongaro now has a lead of 6 seconds. Ogden being reined in a little bit by Battle, but we're now looking at the 2 behind. We're now looking at McBride and Canas, and they are beginning to slow each other up. Probably puff of smoke there as Canas put the power down coming out of the off-camber corner. So the S-Works versus the Infinity. Australia against Spain. And Battle makes a mistake and straight through there. That was a free pass for McBride. Back into 3rd place as Robert Battle makes a mistake. He's now right on the tail of McBride. And Cole Ogden's not pulling away from him. I just see Cole Ogden is on the first jump now and McBride now. So they're quite close. But now again, the battle has moved to that battle for 4th. Just so you know, Ongaro is this lap 6.9 seconds ahead. So this is a big, big lead. But it's really what happens with Ronefalk. And Ronefalk has now starting to try and get back on the tail. But he's actually got Aaron Stringer between himself. And another mistake for Battle. And now Battle and Ronefalk are right together. Let's see if we can find the Battle of Ronefalk. So drop back to the Battle of Ronefalk, Battle with Stringers. 3 of them now going through the off-camber corner. Ronefalk is desperate to get forward because at the moment he might not even be second because he needs to get more points. So he needs to get past Battle. They've landed almost in the same place. 2 world champions, 2012 for the orange car of Robert Battle, and 2016 world champion David Ronefalk from Sweden with the HB, with the Performer engine package. Now, who was that was upside down? That was Canas. They got past Canas for free. So that's the position they've both made up. So they are now running higher. Ongaro does another lap, and we are just around halfway, 13 laps, and in and through all that melee. Suddenly another place has been going to Ronefalk. Ronefalk has made 2 in a lap, but then he's got to make up a big gap to Carl McBride. McBride is 4 seconds up the road from Ronefalk. So Ronefalk now is clear in that, well, as clear as you can be with Robert behind it in that position. So we need to, can we move? Let's stay with them for a second. They're a bit close to the others, and it looks like Robert hasn't had enough of this battle for 4th and 5th. And there's a kind of movement below me as the anticipation, the pit lane builds, and the problem for Atsushi Hara. And Battle tries to fly. So the difference of 4 seconds to McBride and Ronefalk has gone up to 4.5. So that's not good news for him. And into the pits comes Hara. Into the pits comes Ronefalk. He's fueled up. A little bit slow, I think, on that one. Stringer's come in as well. So Ronefalk looking to drive through. We're going to have to wait a couple of laps now for this to for the pit stops to even themselves out. When are we going to be seeing? In comes our leader. Ongaro comes in beneath me. Fuel done, out, gone, no issues whatsoever. So he's on his way to a victory. The question is, who's going to come second? At the moment, it's still Cole Ogden who holds that place. Ogden has fueled as well. And in comes Bataille, Canas, McBride now. Now McBride in the pit stop sequence has ended up losing 3 or 4 seconds. He's now absolutely dead level with Ronefalk. So this is now the battle for 3rd and 4th. They go over the double-double, so over the Coca-Cola double now. And about to fly over the big triple before the end of the lap. This is the battle for 3rd and 4th. McBride's got back past, or has made it his position firmer against Ronefalk, though he was 4 seconds ahead prior to the pit stop, so that's a big turnaround on fueling, and certainly it's a loss by McBride, because also there is Bataille still where he was. Oh, McBride's gone and dropped it, so that's McBride out the way. That means Ronefalk moves to 3rd, behind Cole Ogden. But the real question is, how fast is Ongaro going? And my guess is it doesn't really matter. He's probably going fast enough anyway to get the time he needs to win it, even if Ronefalk gets second. Just so you know, 8.7 seconds in the lead is Ongaro. Cole Ogden has 5 seconds over Ronefalk. Now, team orders. They're both on the HB team. Does someone say, Cole, you've got to slow down. Give the points to Ronefalk, because you've got a chance then. If Ronefalk doesn't come second, he's got no chance of winning the round. If Ogden backs off, then he has got a chance. But they've got a problem. They've got the old fox, Robert Bataille, hanging around there as well. So we already, our first round of the team's champion, construction champion, suddenly becomes absolutely in focus. It's all about, can Cole Ogden actually help his teammate on the HB Performer team beat the Scuderia Scampiodosso team of Ongaro, who we haven't really seen because he's miles ahead. He's ahead by 7 and a bit seconds. It's a 4.5 second distance between Ogden and Ronefalk. Down goes beneath me as we carry on looking at Ronefalk's attempt to get to Ogden, but that's a kind of a lonely attempt. There's a lot of split racing now, a lot of split cars around. 4.1 seconds the gap now as Ronefalk gains on Ogden. I don't think it would pay Ogden to slow down very much, but it would certainly pay him to let Ronefalk go by with about 10 laps to go. But he's got to be careful of both Canas and Bataille, who are coming after him. However, I'm not overly sure that it's going to do him much good, because Ongaro is flying, as you would expect. And in doing that flying, he is probably going to get a better individual lap time. So as you know, the race time was 30 laps in 15:14.5, was what Ronefalk did the first one. As I say, it doesn't matter unless he's second. And as he flies now onto the off-camber corner and into the double-double, the lead has gone down to 3.8. Ogden's already crossed, so then what it's going to be now. And the lead goes to 3.7. So the gap, not the lead, the gap between Ogden and Ronnefout. And Ogden now. Let's move forward to Cole Ogden. Cole Ogden in the yellow and purple car, just going over the off-camber corner now and coming over the double. He's down in second. He's the man who's got a decision to make. Just so you know, David Ongaro is going very fast around the track. So Ogden, someone needs to get on the radio. Toto Wolff, you need to get on the radio. It would be Toto Wolff, it'll be Matteo Binotti, because he'll be obviously with the team leader. No, you can't be the young man doing better than your team leader, and we want to ask him through. In traffic now is our leader, but that's not causing any problems. Ogden now has certainly Ronnefout gaining on him. There's some traffic between Ronnefout and the other cars, and it's certainly, I think it's no doubt that Ronnefout's going to get to Ogden. He's had a bit of a dodgy lap actually, and in fact he stopped on a corner, so they're now really close together. So drop back 2 cars to Ronnefout. Ronnefout now has, I think, JQ in between them. Yep, so it's JQ between Ogden and Ronnefout. Now, I would expect, because they've actually managed to lose Battle and Canas, that at this point Ogden needs to let, if he gets up to him, needs to let him go. Then he'll be second, and then it'll just be down to how fast did Ongaro go. So JQ needs to move out of the way and let his fellow Scandinavian through. JQ, the Finn, lets the Swede David Ronnefout past him. The next person for Ronnefout to attack is his teammate, Cole Ogden. Are we going to see the first team orders or team tactics of RCGP World Series? Well, that doesn't, because actually we've got 33 just climbing over. And is he going to let him go off that with Patrick Hoffer? Now, is Ogden going to fight, or is he going to let him go? Realistically, for the good of the team, he needs to let him go. But for the good of Cole Ogden, he needs not to. And I kind of think at this point, they need, whether they know what the timing is. But that's what we got. We got team tactics. Is it Bottas? Is Cole Ogden going to be a Bottas? Is Cole Ogden going to be a Leclerc? Or is Cole Ogden going to be a Lewis Hamilton? And not say no. I say no to team orders. Out in front by 12 seconds is David Ongaro. But it's more important what sort of time he's doing. Ronnefout needs to get past Ogden. That's the key point. Then he's got a chance because he'll be second. Whether they actually know that, if they know that Ongaro's going too fast, and I haven't got a predicted time here, so I'm not sure how they'd know. Ronnefout has the fastest lap. And he's following around the 2 teammates together. It's yellow and purple for the American Cole Ogden, and the yellow, white, orange and green of the Swede David Ronnefout. Now, down to the last 2.5 laps. The lead is massive, and it's 11.7 seconds to Ongaro, but that's not the point. The point is the point. Oh, Ronnefout had a complete fizz on that section, lost the whole of the drive. They've managed to pull a 5-second gap on Battle, but Ogden, is he going to stay there? Is he going to prevent any chance for his teammate to take it? On lap 28, when they complete this, they're going to start the last lap. Ongaro is away and happy and already on the last lap. No, he hasn't last lap. He's about to start his last lap. He needs to get 30 laps. He's got 2 to go. So they're now on to the penultimate lap. They've got 1.5 laps to go. Ongaro is about to start his last lap. Ongaro does start his last lap on 14:41. And he has enough time, so he is going fast enough. So this is pretty immaterial what happens between the other 2. So what we need is Ash can stay on the other cars, and what we'll have is we'll look for our leader, and our leader is right ahead of us here, Zach. That's our leader in 94. That is our leader. Let's switch to him. He's got 2 corners to go, and he's going to go across, and that's his win. And then David Ongaro takes it. So Ongaro takes the win. Ongaro wins it. And he wins it in 15:10. So he wins it in a 15:10, and he has taken the championship. Ronnefout did get Cole Ogden that last lap. I don't know if Ogden let him through or what. And it's all for Nout, because it's going to be Ongaro who will win. Ronnefout second. Ogden in third. I think Ogden may get an overall third for that. David Ongaro, congratulations. You are the winner of round 1 of the RCGP World Series because you were fast enough.
Yeah, now the car was really good, tire also. I made a couple of mistakes about the nervous, but I'm really happy to win this first round here. So
all good.
You got out in the lead and you seemed to stroke it away again. How tense were you knowing you had to get a time?
A lot, especially to make no mistakes and drive safe just to take the win.
Thank you indeed. And now let's go to the HB team. David, well, you are second on countback. The first third of the race just didn't go your way, did it?
No, absolutely not. I mean, I crashed there on the completely wrong spot. I mean, you cannot crash in the first couple of laps because, you know, you have the train with cars behind you and the marshal cannot really get to your car, and that's what happened. And, you know, I probably lost around 10 seconds to Ongaro there on the first 3 laps or whatever. After that, I ran pretty strong. I came back. And yeah, you know, my car was good in the end. Yeah, just that mistake. And I guess I lost on every tie so far this weekend, so why not do it again here? Tomorrow I'll get him.
Well, what a day. I'm standing between these two guys who've both been shouting, screaming at times into various microphones to various different audiences. Has it been easy to sum up today to the audience?
Amazing. I mean, everything you had hoped for heads-up style racing came to be here in Manila. Everything we talked about and things like that, it was epic. We had 2 great finals, and you know, when it comes down to the tie break, that means it had to be pretty good.
People on the live stream, how are they reacting to this new format?
Universally in favour. People love qualifying races. That's it, because we've done it the old way. It's efficient yet dull. Now we've got efficient yet exciting.
But does it mean more work for you guys because you're kind of up here from the first race and getting higher?
Yeah, it's always, you know, it's full power for the whole thing because you want to give all the races, you know, 100%. And but when they're exciting as we had today, it's pretty much easy to do because it was just thrilling racing, not only up front but mid-pack and stuff like that. We had great battles.
We had immense battles. Anybody stood out to you?
I think the surprise, obviously, is Cole Ogden's showing so well. He was battling. I mean, if you look at more Ronefalk and Ongaro, they were just trying to go as fast as possible. Ogden was battling the whole time, battling with battle, which always helps. Canas and every other driver, because he was just trying to get his way through, and he got a fantastic result.
I think every time Cole's in the top 3 press conference, Nick says something like, "Surprised to see you here," and I can see Cole getting a bit more miffed. I don't think it's going to be a surprise for long.
No, not at all. We mentioned it on the first day when we were interviewing, you know, and now truly on a world stage. And he's taken full advantage of it. It's his moment in the spotlight, and it's not going to be a surprise anymore if he runs strong tomorrow.
No. How about those finals, though? Those 2 30-lap finals, how were they for you?
Exciting because it's a long enough duration, but it's still a sprint. So, you know, pit stops and stuff like that, not that important. So it went well. Tire choices and stuff like that. We heard that Ronefalk kind of second-guessing his choice. He lost a little bit of pace there in the second one, but it's a whole new game tomorrow with that 120-lap feature. So we'll see what they decide and how it shakes down.
It really is. How did Ongaro completely change speed halfway through the first one?
I made some mistakes, and I think then he's got his brain in gear, really. And I think basically he was throwing caution to the wind. I think this track is not really the sort of track that welcomes being attacked. If you look at the guys, when they've got themselves ahead, they can run a line and you can't get past. Because when you attack, you can come off at every single angle. These jumps are all pointing the wrong way when you land. And so by attacking, you have to have a modicum of luck and an incredible amount of skill. And Ongaro just went, that's it. There's no point coming second. I'm going to try and win. And just threw everything at it for 10 laps, and that's what happened.
It's a team thing, isn't it? And I think this is the first time we've really started thinking about teams. And we have obviously got a leader in the team championship now with the HB Racing guys. They seemed a little bit underwhelmed. I mean, not underwhelmed, but I guess they both wanted to be on that top spot.
Oh, for sure they do. You know, I mean, their racers are hardcore competitors and things like that. But the team competition and a constructor champion, though, that's something that's really cool. Obviously, they do it in other forms of racing, but to bring that into our sport is pretty unique. And as you said, a bit underwhelmed, but I think tomorrow, once things pan out, and if they get it after this first 2 events here, I think, I think there'll be something that's going to be proud, carry that into the next event.
Scotty, I'm not going to ask you for a prediction, but what I will say, I've learned. What I will say is, Canas and Battle, I wanted to see a bit more from them. I mean, Battle was there, but Canis, I think he's had a rough day. Do you think there's some guys that are going to do a lot better tomorrow?
I think so, especially in that long 120 lap feature final that we have. I think definitely it's going to, the strategy is going to come in, the pit stops, the whole thing, and the guys that can kind of put in just a solid 95% pace and things like that, I think are going to really come going. And when they need to push it past 100%, you know, guys like Ongaro, they always find another level, the next gear when they, as you said, Nick, have to throw caution to the wind and had to give it to get back to the front. We'll see.
And Nick, who's going to win?
Right. Well, I think.
No David type thing. Like that.
No, I think that I'm going to have to say I think Ongaro is going to win. And the reason I think he's going to win is because he made his lousy tower choice 2 weeks ago at the DXR. He won't make that mistake again. He'll get one for the whole race. But I do have to say that it's an hour. Mm-hmm. Robert.
You keep saying it. He's the master of the long race.
Absolutely, for sure.
It's going to be another long day tomorrow, but it's going to be an awesome day. I think the winner's going to be the viewers and us getting to see this whole thing unfold. Thanks, Scotty. It's been great. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
We'll see you tomorrow on RCGP for the second round from here in Manila.